Hello, greetings fellow stationeers, and welcome back to Mimas with me, 54 Bear, where we are continuing to tame Mimas from a brutal start. So, where are we? Not much different on the base. Hardly any time has elapsed since the last recording, where we were working on the power room. We got the gas fuel generator installed, and I made some boo-boos. One of which was this. I don't know whether you would have realised this at the time that I was putting it all together, but the idea was we'd have a two-part cooling system. One part in the base, one part out of the base, so that the digital valve here, which is controlled by logic that reads the gas sensor down here for temperature, would be able to shut off the cooling effect. And these radiators are permanently attached inside the base, so they have to go. So we will eliminate those. I don't think this will fix the problem, but it will stop it getting any worse. Right, yeah, this is going to be the wrench. Okay, so now the actual cooling is happening just with these four. That's probably enough. I don't know whether I'm going to need these two. I may do. I may elect to put one outside and one inside. I don't know. Right. Other thing I want to do is I want to monitor the temperature in here. So we're going to do a little bit of wiring, and we're going to put up another console up here. But this bit of wire is in the way, but I have the same wiring network on this side of the door. So we're just going to change which way we're accessing it. So I'll get rid of this, and we will reroute it around. Like so. And whilst I'm here, I will put in a piece of cable there and another one there, because there's something else I'm going to do down here. I'm going to put in a small LED. This is going to be used to display the battery temperature, the battery charge level, so that when I'm down here, if I'm troubleshooting anything, I don't have to go running upstairs to find out how well the batteries are doing. So we'll give this a name. We'll call it LED bat level, implying that Batman owns it, but no, it is I. Right, what else are we going to do? Right, so the temperature is below 300 Kelvin, and that is what I have this currently set to, which is about 23 degrees, I think, if memory serves, or 26.85 or something of that nature. And I don't know whether that's a good value to have for it. So I may be playing around with this. Now, all of the previous experiments have been based on erroneous setup because of the two radiators permanently hooked up outside. So let's have a quick look and see how we're doing now. We are at 25 degrees in there, which is kind of okay. It's 26 in here. So I would expect the temperature to stabilize. This side, obviously, it's out there. It's getting very cold. I'm a bit worried that there's a bit too much cold gas out there. So I probably won't add the other radiators. But when the battery level gets down to 20%, the gas generator should fire up in this temperature okay, and I'm hopeful that we'll be stable. If not, there is always the possibility of installing a closed loop cooling system similar to what I have already for the gas tanks and whatnot out here. That's one of these arrangements up there, which seems to work reasonably well. It's not particularly fast acting, but it does work. Right, so what I'm going to need here is another angled console, like so, a gas display, a pane of glass, and I don't have the data disk. Okay, so I'll put the data disk inside, turn it on, and because I need to figure this out instantly without having to do any mathematical gymnastics, I will set this one in Celsius. Alright, and that's the one we want. Let's see, if I crouch down, you can actually read it a little easier. GS Power Room. And yes, I said crouch down. Isn't that wonderful? It's not really crouching, it's using another mod, which when you activate it, shrinks you. Yeah. Also lets you walk at normal speed, so you're not running everywhere. Although, I'm kind of used to running everywhere. Okay, so that has given us that. We are at 34 degrees in there and falling. Shouldn't be falling that much actually. What's going on in there? Let us investigate. It's pretty stable. Why is that jumping around like that? That seems very strange. I have not seen that behavior before. Let's see, if I select the other one, rock solid steady. And all over the place. Well, it was a pretty solid 25 Celsius in there, which is strange that it's reading 38. It's on the same wiring network, or should be, which we can test quite easily. Let's make it all orange. Yes. Maybe it just didn't like being the colour it was. Now rock solid. Nope, no, it's leaping around again. Oh, well, it has fired up. I have a feeling that I shouldn't have the gas sensor there. I think having it this close is going to make it too funky like that. It won't affect the running of the generator, but it may impact the logic stuff that I have. So I think I'm going to move it over here. Let's it'd be so much more convenient if paint was a tool. I could put it down there, but I don't like that, so I'm going to put it right up here, thusly. Alright, as long as I give it the same name, it won't matter that I move it. GS space power room. Okay, that's reading 308. Right, so this will stay on until the temperature reaches 300 Kelvin, and yeah, we should be okay. So the logic will be less sensitive to it. Now, even though I don't have to change my IC code because I gave the gas sensor the same name, I will probably have to reprogram that console because it probably doesn't see it anymore. Yeah. They work on slightly different processes. Yeah, so GS power room. Yeah, I expect it to move around a little, certainly when this is on, but it shouldn't be as jumpy because the hot air has to move over a few blocks, by which time it will have sorted itself out and decided to fly right. Okay, so that does that. That will allow me to monitor the temperature of the power shed from inside the base. And I should, when I'm inside the power shed, be able to monitor the battery level. Now, less running outside. As for the code change, pretty simple. Actually, before I even do that, I did want to add another one here. Another small LED, which will give me the same information. Alright, and we will give this exactly the same name. LED mat level. So the reason for doing this is by giving it a name, I can access it or control it using IC code without having to set a pin, and I can still put other small LEDs on the network and have them not affected by this. And with this having exactly the same name as the one that we installed down there, they will both show the same information. Right, so let's put the game on pause. Right, so I've got the LED medium defined. I need to define now the small one. And for that I need the Stationeers. Let's just search for LED small. There we go. Make certain I'm not using the kit hash. There we go. And we paste that in like so. Everything else I need is already in there. I don't know whether this is going to be the temperature I'm going to continue to use. So I'm actually going to define another constant. And I'll call this max power shed temperature. And for that, at the moment, I'm going to set it a little lower, 290. And I'll use that in a moment. Now here, this is the beginning of the loop. So once the program starts, it goes into the loop, and there's nothing in here that will ever cause it to exit the loop. So this runs only once. I need to do the same thing for the small LEDs. So store batch name again, because I want to restrict it just to these two. LED small. We give it the hash, which is the name of LED bat level. We'll set its mode, and in this case we're going to set the mode to 1. Reason being, when you look down here, it will actually tell you what the modes do. Default just displays a number. This mode 1 displays a number as a percentage, and mode 2 selects it or displays it as power. So we want mode 1, we want percentage. Right, so in this particular case, this is where we're addressing the old one. This shows the power generation, but it only shows it from the Stirlings. So I'm going to need now to modify this so it shows the Stirlings and the gas fuel generator. So these ones I'll leave as is. In fact, I need to... Yes, here I'm going to create I either need another variable or I just use an unaliased register. I'm going to use a register for this. Well, sorry, let me refresh. All these are registers, it's just I've assigned names to them for ease of use. In this particular case, I'm going to use a temporary one. So we will load batch into R0 from the gas fuel generators, and I'm going to want power generation and average again. So this tells me, power gen will tell me how much the Stirlings are generating, R0 will have a number showing how much the gas fuel generators are storing. And what I want to do is combine both of them into power gen. So I'll do add into power gen the contents of power gen and R0. So this will take this number, add it to this number, and store it in this number. And yeah, the fact that you can do that sort of freaks me out. But yeah, that's the way it works. Shouldn't have to change anything else in the code. The LED power will still be off when there is no power being generated. The battery percentage I'll want on all the time, so I won't change anything with those. Ready. So LED small, we got the mode. Don't have to turn them on or off or anything, so we're good there. What else do I need to do? I'm sure there's something else I need to do. Oh, right. Yes, down here. So Yeah. So the LED small for the battery level, that I need to actually set, and I haven't actually done that yet. And this is the sensible place to do it, because this is where we read the battery level. So we will set by batch naming the LED small, give it the hash of the small ones we want to use. They're called LED space bat level. And we want to make its setting equal to battery level. Which we're reading up here. So that should do that. Now when I export it, this will show just a decimal number. It didn't. It's like it jumped right out. Interesting. I was expecting to have to pull the chip out and put it back in. It's most interesting that it did that. Normally it wouldn't. Oh well. So right now we've got goodish temperature. Nothing is running. The temperature is dropping a little, but not excessively so. If I was really fanatical about monitoring, I would have a pipe analyzer on one of the coolant pipes so that I could actually read that. I may actually add that in. In fact, to be honest, that's probably a very good idea for troubleshooting purposes. But it sounds a bit like a pound of cure for an ounce of problem. So we will leave that as is. Level is going up. We're generating 12.8, which is kind of expected. And the battery level is slowly increasing. Be nice if we could get a decimal on there as well. I have a feeling there might be a mod that does that, but I wouldn't want to bet any significant money on it. Right, dump these out there. Yeah, I really need to address this monstrosity. It takes up way too much space like that, like with the chute sticking out this way. But I didn't want to run the cables any further out, even though they don't actually present a movement impediment. I just don't like it. As much as I adore pipework that's ugly, I really want my wiring to be neat and tidy if I can. Let's close this off. Ooh. Move that out of the way, and this I think we can just dump in the pile of ingots, which are also exceedingly well organized, as I'm sure you can appreciate. Okay, this is for in here. I did have an issue where I ran out of power. These batteries went completely dry because I was messing around down there. And this went bye-byes as well. And so the base could never recover because the code that needs to generate the power is in this chip, and the power went off. So what I would like to do is put in this power controller with a nuclear battery that will power just this, so that this by itself would have to drain an entire nuclear battery before the base fails. So I think it's possible to do, because I think the power connection is the furthest one. I don't actually remember, I could be wrong. So what I need to do is get a nuclear power fitted APC on that and then have some way of charging it. I could do it from the orange electrical network, or I could run it directly from the batteries. I like the idea of directly running it from the batteries. It just makes a little bit more sense to me. Question is, how do I get the power line across? Now, let's see, which sensor module do I have in? Yeah, I have the right one. So if I turn on the sensors, and I put in the paint can in my hand, and change to red, I can see the red cable network. And you can see the red heavy cable takes a detour out that way, because, let's remove the paint can so we get all of them. It's because this green one here already goes across the top of the door, and that goes out that way. Now I could reorganize the cabling, but maybe the sensible way is to, let's see, I can't run it under that bit of the floor because I've got a pipe running across there. Or do I? Having to think in three-dimensional spaces. Yeah, because there's oh yeah, it's painted black, that's why. Yeah, so got the output pipe running along that way, so I can't run electrical cable there. I can't run it under here because I've already got a green cable coming down that way. So I could run it across this bit of window and into this wall up here. Yeah, it's a bit of a problem. Kind of problem I enjoy solving, but I may put down some temporary flooring along here so that I can actually run the cables underneath. Don't like doing that, never have, but in this case it may be the only viable option. See, I have a bunch of, oh, rats. Yeah, I printed one and forgot to turn the printer off, so it printed lots of them. Oh well, I'm sure I'll use them. I printed up these hash displays in a similar way. Maybe I can find some gullible trader that I can sell them to. Right, well, let us eat and drink. Which I can't do with the helmet closed. No, I'm not going to bother taking it off. Right, that's that finally gone. Right, back to the French fries. Ooh, dear, these spuds are damaged. Do I have any thing in there? No. Yeah, the chocolate lasts forever, so I should just leave it there. And yes, I am aware that I have an automated oven right behind me, but because these are going to get dismantled, I don't want to put anything in them. Because whenever you reject whatever contents they have, it just comes out as mush that you can't use. Becomes industrial waste. Maybe it can go through the composter or something like that. But, yeah. Okay, so that'll keep me fed and watered for a while. Right. Alright. Basic farming while I'm here. Do I have corn? have wheat, but no corn. No matter. Yeah, I changed the trader script, so it's only looking for traders that sell seeds. Let's see if it's found one. Nope. Of course, I won't be able to read the pipe temperature from up here. So 28 degrees, that should be fine. So batteries at 19, this is firing up, that's good. So as far as I know, the cutoff point for the gas generator is about 50, well, it's pretty close to 50 degrees Celsius. As soon as it hits that for a tick or more, it basically shuts down. Oh, interesting. Oh, right, yeah. I was thinking, yes, it's interesting there's water in there. But of course this red pipe network, the exhaust, is connected to the H2 combustor. Right, so that only got it up to 28%. That is a little disappointing. So maybe it's a bit less than 50 degrees. So I think that other radiators, or the radiators I took from down there, from up there, can I get them through the wall? Doesn't look like it. I was thinking kind of a wall hack could work in reverse. Even if I shrink myself, I can do it. Marvellous. Okay, so I think I'm going to need another radiator in here. Now if I put one here... Oh, I can just walk past. So maybe we'll do that. And I can salvage some pipe from up there. Right, let's try it just with one, see how we go. And that, that. It definitely needs to be connected. That should have filled it up. Wonder if I should have put it closer. Only 30%. Well, that was me turning it on manually. off soon. Maybe it measures it at both ends. I don't know. But interestingly, this is generating 8,000 kilojoules. So this one is more effective than this one. I don't think it's because there's only one pipe section. I think it's because it's further away. So maybe the solution is to remove this one and move it down. We'll just have it there. I'll leave that as the fill-up point. Oh, weird, I was not expecting to be able to fit down the outside. Really don't need to be doing this, but I think it looks cool. And 17, 15, and 12. So the radiator's definitely more effective right up close to it. So maybe I should put one on this side as well, like move this one over to here. And the temperature is staying solid. Well, it's not increasing as fast as it used to. So 10 degrees that side, 2 on this. Yeah, it's a shame because it's kind of nice to be able to look through these windows and see the gas fuel generator running. And as we don't have the ability to lay these radiators flat in a horizontal plane, not much choice. Alright, we're up to 40, so that's good. Temperature in here, oh, now it says 54. 55 in that square. 45 in this one, so maybe it's this end it measures the temperature from. We shall see. Probably the average of these two. Probably. Well, that got us to 42%. Still nowhere near as good as I would have liked. And we are burning through fuel. Oh, damn. 45 megapascals in the waste tank. I think we'd better address that. Pipes won't burst at 45, but things do get noisy. And there is another mod that I'm thinking of downloading, which quietens down the pipes. I may do that. There is another mod I have downloaded that quietens things down. That's the annoying little chirp that you get when you have low food warning or anything else. You can turn the volume of your speakers up, and you will not hear the chirp. I actually turned off the jetpack low and the jetpack warnings because I was playing around with a no jetpack game, seeing how viable it was. And yeah, viable now that you don't get that annoying chirp. Alright, so we are currently putting output from the H2 combustor into the pink tank, which I don't really want to put any more in. And we have close to 900 litres of water. So I think I'm going to say we're okay for water for now. I'm actually going to turn that off. And I will leave this switch set the way it is so that I can cool down the remainder of the gas in the yellow tank and filter it out, and the pink tank will continue to provide power for the Stirlings should it be needed. The gas fuel generator, of course, will continue to add stuff to that. But I don't think it would add in 15 megapascals anytime soon. I hope not. Otherwise there might be a bit of a boom. Okay, what's that? Large extendable radiator. Yeah, that we're not going to be using, because I really don't think I want to go with a water-cooled or a liquid-cooled system here. Right, we're okay fuel-wise. I mean, well, we're okay to make more fuel. We're down to 12,000 moles. I'll put some more into it. I'll get it up to 6 or 7 megapascals, I guess. Oh, that'll do. Yeah, just to make certain we don't run out. I mean, if the gas fuel generator runs out of fuel, or if it just can't start because of its environment conditions, the Stirling will eventually pick it up and bring the batteries up to 19%. Well, I should probably make it 21 so there's an overlap. Yeah, I don't really like those there. Maybe I should extend this out, give it a bit more room, and then I could try putting a radiator right behind it. That may make more sense. I could also go with a closed loop cooling system, similar to what I have over here. That works well. I mean, it's okay, but it's not super fast. I have a feeling the heat output from anything in the power shed would just overwhelm a system like that, and I don't think this would scale up particularly well. It's really designed to, over a period of time, cool down a tank. It's not the instant cooling that this would need. I do, however, have a fair amount of nitrogen. Oh, actually, not that much. but I have a crap ton of CO2. If I built a cooling system for this tank similar to what I have up here for the other tanks, I could, through a series of pipes and vents, just flood this thing with room temperature CO2, and as soon as the temperature gets up to a certain point, start sucking it out one end while I'm blowing fresh stuff in the other end. So basically cycle cooler gas. In fact, I'd probably drop it down to like 290 Kelvin in that case, and just flood the room with it and suck it out at the other end. And this will be the hot end. That might actually be a fun exercise. I've never done a cooling system that way, and I think it would work, but I'd probably have to relocate the gas sensor back down here again. Or I could use two and just take the average of them. Many, many different options. All right, well, the generator's running. Temperature at this end is slowly increasing. Well, actually, that's increasing a little bit faster than I would like. Anyway, if you got any suggestions, please feel free to drop me in the comments. And there are some aspects of the game I'm quite comfortable with. There are others where I really feel like an idiot. And phase change cooling is one of those things that whenever I try it, makes me feel like an imbecile. So I tend to avoid it and go with the older school methods that do not involve use of air conditioners. Nothing against using air conditioners, it's just they feel a little cheaty. And I would rather not deal with them. I would rather find other methods. But yeah, okay, we will leave it for there. I have some work to do getting a greenhouse set up. I also have a bunch of decayed food I've bought from traders, which I really need to do something with because it's clogging up the vending machine. And I don't know if I can actually fit any more stuff in there. So I want to get the decayed food out of there. I'd like to get it composted. I would like to generate some volatiles from it. So I might actually get the composting done before I build the greenhouse, which is kind of bass-ackwards, but that's just how I roll. Anyway, thanks for watching. Any questions or comments, leave them down below. I'll be delighted to hear from you. And I'll see you in the next one. 54 Bear out.